So today I'm talking about characters. I've been looking into this a bit. Also, sort of trying to figure out why some stories work and some don't. Now, of course, there are many answers to this question. It is not just a film script that it all relies on. There are a whole bunch of production stuff in the background that will contribute to the overall delivery of the story. But I think fundamentally, and this is from my own experience as well, audiences will react better to a story if they actually like the characters in it. I mean, you may eventually, master the art of screenwriting in terms of formats and structure, but if you write a story about a character that no one really likes, even if your movie looks great, it has excellent casting or fantastic CGI, or hopefully lots of money thrown at it, but doesn't seem to appear to sit well with the audience. I mean, we've all been there ourselves. We've gone to the movies looking forward to seeing a film on the big screen. There's the whole build-up of the trailers and blogosphere is talking all about it, but ultimately the film disappoints, or I think more importantly, sometimes it is actually the characters that disappoint. I like the way Blake Snyder explains the importance of creating a hero that we will like or we should like. It is in fact the concept behind his Save the Cat books. And in his book, he states that a movie needs to contain a scene, and I'm quoting here, that defines who he is and makes us like him. So basically, the hero needs to save the cat. He actually cites an example of Lara Croft 2. He believes the reason it didn't do at the box office was the fact that there was no save the cat scene in there. I don't remember this film that well. I do remember I didn't like it as much as the first one, so I might go back and watch that again to see if he has a point there. But certainly something to think about when you're writing your script. Also, during the course of researching this wonderful art form we call screenwriting, I came across Linda Sager's book, Creating Unforgettable Characters. There's some wonderful tips in there and things to consider when you write your character. For one, your protagonist and also other characters in your story would, of course, have certain cultural, educational, or social backgrounds that would characterize the way your hero handle themselves or the attitudes they may have or the way they think and express themselves. Seeger also speaks about the importance of finding what's your character's core or what the qualities what are the qualities you see in this character or your character. It could be greed or empathy or passion or idealistic values. So many to choose from, of course, but it's also important. She says, I'm going to quote here, that you also need to find the paradoxes within the character to create complexity to the character. So if we take those things into consideration, how do we then use all of this when we write our script? We're at the same time trying to create a structure of the script, aren't we? It's one of these things that many of the screenwriting books talk about, get the structure right. Vicky King, in her book, How to Write a Movie in 21 Days, actually states that the structure in your story is actually your character. And I particularly like this quote from her book. The events in your screenplay are going to happen as a result of who your character is. And that's interesting. So actually what your character is doing in the script and the story, the actions they take, that's actually the structure of the script. And I think that concept is quite important. You can, by the way, also see the outline of what a script structure should look like if you check out my posts in the screenwriting category of the blog. So I think if you keep in mind to create a scene where we see the hero actually do something heroic, as Blake Snyder talks about, save the cat, it can be something small. It doesn't have to be, all superhero Iron Man stuff, of course. So use his catchphrase, basically, save the cat moment needs to be in your script somewhere. And this will, of course, then be part of the picture that makes up the unforgettable character that Sega is talking about. She suggests this will come from you identifying what the core values and qualities in your character are, and then to add an extra layer of all the paradoxes that exist within all of us, which of course will give us the complexities within your hero. And that, of course, can only add to the structure of stories if you keep in mind King's assertion that things in the story happens as a result of who your hero is. And of course, you can only know who your hero is if you explore the characteristics of your protagonist and make him likable as well through actions he may take and making him a hero in our eyes. But ultimately, will make up all these actions that he take will make up the structure of your story, what your story actually is all about. So I'll definitely recommend that you, if you want to explore this a bit further, to read the books from Linda Sager and Blake Snyder and Vicky King. I'll list them in the blog below. So if you want to have a look and explore that a bit further, you can.